First up this week we have Unbound Worlds Apart, a colourful Metroidvania featuring Solly, a mage on a quest to save the Sea of Reality from a demonic corrupting force. The story is told through some lovely cutscenes and gets fleshed out through the bizarre characters you talk to throughout the game. The most inventive feature of Unbound is Solly's ability to open a portal to another world by the press of a button. In each biome of the game world, your portal behaves differently. It may slow time, reveal hidden platforms, or alter gravity. Each changes the gameplay considerably. There's no traditional combat in the game, but you'll still have to use your portal powers to overcome enemies and defeat giant bosses. If you're a fan of Hollow Knight and the Ori games, Unbound is an easy recommendation. Unlike those combat-heavy Metroidvanias, this one plays more like a precision platformer with its clever puzzles and portal manipulation mechanics. It's one of July's best new indies, and it's out now on the PC, PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. To keep up to date with all things indie gaming, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to get notifications so you never miss a video. Being a dog owner, I can totally understand Ayo the Clown. His dog Bo goes missing, and so he sets off on a grand quest to find him. I'd do the same, but without the face paint and balloons. What we have here is a wonderfully polished 2.5D platformer that takes all the best elements the genre has to offer, from great level design, inventive upgrades, fluid controls, and an adorable protagonist. And as you'd expect with a clown, the game doesn't take itself too seriously and features comically narrated cutscenes to develop Ayo's story. The 30 levels are really creative, with new mechanics regularly introduced to keep gameplay feeling fresh. You can't even jump until you get your jumping shoes in the second level, for example. Later on, you get a balloon that allows you to do a sort of Yoshi-esque floaty jump. You learn how to head stomp, wall slide, ride tanks and helicopters, and you can even become a dinosaur. Ayo is a clown of many talents, and I really like the way you get moves one at a time, rather than having them all from the start. With collectibles galore and side quests, there's plenty to keep you busy here. Ayo the Clown is one of the best old school platformers I've played this year. Look out for it now on the PC via Steam and also the Nintendo Switch. Created by a group of 12 developers, The Ascent is an action RPG that has the look and feel of a AAA game. Set in a cyberpunk world, you play as a worker at the bottom of the food chain. You're a slave that unexpectedly gets thrown into a plot of turmoil and survival. Played from a top-down isometric perspective, the game plays like Diablo if it were a top-down shooter. Your character is highly customisable from the start with a level up system, equipable items, and augmentations which give you unique special moves. Combat is exhilarating. You start out with a simple pistol, but beefier weapons become available the more you play. Sometimes an all guns blazing approach may get you through the hordes of enemies, but tougher enemies require strategy. You're able to duck and take cover, and perhaps the most unique aspect of the combat is the ability to raise your weapon and fire over cover, Gears of War style. Navigating the Ascent's open world is made simple by a super useful map and a sort of futuristic sat-nav that directs you to your next objective by the press of a button. It's a simple feature, but one which really helps keep things focused if you just want to follow the main plot, which will take around 15 to 20 hours to complete. If you do like venturing off the beaten track, side quests and secrets are plentiful. The campaign can be played alone in couch co-op or with up to 3 people online. The graphics are just sublime, with so many neat little touches making the game world feel alive. And when the camera occasionally pans out to show more of Velos City, prepare to gape in awe at the game's stunning vistas, and just remember 12 people did this. The Ascent is out now on PC and Xbox consoles. Let me start off by saying Eldest Souls is a brutal game, so much so the challenge may be too much for some. In fact, it might well be the hardest indie I've played this year, and I love it. Inspired by the Dark Souls series, it's primarily a boss rush game where you definitely have to get good, as they say, to overcome the enemies that line your path. Enveloped in a gorgeous pixel art style, the horrors that await are plentiful and without mercy. The 10 or so bosses have a vast set of attacks at their disposal, meaning you'll be spending quite some time getting used to each moveset. Like Dark Souls, patience and perseverance are required here. Button mashing will get you nowhere, you need to wait for the opportune moment to strike. A mistimed swipe of your sword will leave you vulnerable and on the ropes and reeling. Expect to attempt each boss many times as you learn the patterns and work out the best way to bring them down. Defeating bosses gives rich rewards, including skill points and new powers. There are 3 very different skill trees you can choose, from one that focuses on improving your speed to one that allows you to defend and counter-attack. And thankfully you can remove skill points and shards and apply to other options at no cost. Playing around with the different styles is great fun as you test which works best for each boss, There's a multitude of possible combinations. You really can play this game the way you want to. All in all, Eldest Souls is a beautiful brute of a game. If you're a glutton for punishment, there's plenty to feast on here. Taking the number 1 spot this week is Omno, one of the most beautiful and serene indies I've played this year. It's a 3D puzzle platformer reminiscent of Journey and Rhyme, in which you control a lone adventurer investigating the mysteries of a lost civilization. I really don't think stills of this game do it justice. The art style is so crisp and movement so fluid, with such adorable character animations. It's a game that really needs to be played to be appreciated. The ambient musical score is suitably atmospheric, building to accentuate key moments in the game, such as when travelling on the backs of ancient creatures to reach new areas. As the game progresses, you discover new abilities, such as a dash jump, allowing you to reach distant platforms, and a Journey-esque surf move, where your magical staff becomes a surfboard. The fact that Omno is the work of a single developer is pretty mind-blowing. It's such a polished cinematic experience that, whilst it doesn't reinvent the wheel, is an absolute joy to play. Like with similar games of the genre, it's pretty short, clocking in at 3 to 5 hours, but that felt just about right to me. Omno is an indie work of art, available at launch on Xbox Game Pass, the PlayStation 4 and the PC via Steam. And that's it for this week in indie gaming. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the I Love Indies channel and also hit that like button to help feed the algorithm. I'll leave you with a sneak peek of one of the most anticipated indies of the year. After being in development for what seems like an age, Death Trash finally sees a release in early access on Steam next week. Until the next video guys, keep loving indies.